Welcome, by the way. It's Housemarks Mega Worldwide. If you've never been here before, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm glad you're here now. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, et fucking cetera. Um, all the stuff you're supposed to do to help a station, on the interwebs, a channel get off the ground. Do that stuff as much as you want to, and no more. How about that? Is that a good deal? I think that's a good deal. Um, there is a in interrogations, there is a term that is often used for whites, and it is not that you're in a room with four white guys yelling at you. For whites is your eyes are so wide open. I don't even know if I can fucking do it, but you can see the top, the bottom, the left, and the right of the whites of your eyes. That's when you know somebody is panicked, guilty, or is aware that they are full of shit, or both, or all of the above. They're like, oh fuck, I'm caught. When you see four whites, that was the shock moment. They're like, oh, they said, and it happens when they do a lot of in interviews. In case you're ever a murderer, I hope you don't use what I'm telling you. I hope you get the book thrown at you personally. And I hope you go away for the long goodbye. I don't want the death penalty because I don't want anyone innocent to be killed. But if you murder somebody, I hope you go to jail for the rest of your life with no parole for even a single murder. You know why? Because no one gets paroled from a cemetery. The victim doesn't get that opportunity, so neither do you. Fuck off, don't kill anyone. Now, when they talk to somebody who has murdered someone, and by the way, the murder victims in our graveyards across the country will forever be at a standard of 3-1 against people tried for murder because of the number of people who are actually caught when they commit murder and the number of victims that your average murderer will actually, who really works at it. Obviously, serial killers and mafia hitmen have a much higher number. They weight the average, let's just say. But when they talk to you, they'll ease into the conversation, ask you a few questions or whatever, but then at some point they're going to drop what they know. And they're going to be looking at you. And if you don't look, they're going to be, if you've had some practice, you'll be looking away when they start bringing up this part of it so that they don't see the look on your face, really. And you'll see a bunch of people who are aware, who have been planning for this moment. These folks tend to put their heads down when they're being asked about something, or look at something, to distract themselves while they say, I don't know, it was about 8:30, that kind of shit, right? The ones who aren't particularly good, the ones who are in a constant state of internalized guilt, they'll throw the four whites up. They'll do like a shock moment where their eyes will pop because they're like, oh fuck, they know, because they're waiting in anticipation. Russell Brand does this all the fucking time, largely because he bullshits for a reason, and he also surrounds himself with sycophants who he never gets pushback on what he's saying in any meaningful way. And his environment as a multi-millionaire living in a very fancy house outside of London is curated so that he never runs into anybody that isn't in a fan situation that might give him any what for. He lives a bubbled life. And he is sitting down in this particular one on Tucker Carlson's little Fox Nation show where no one but the most desperate go. Tucker Carlson Today. And they talk about spirituality and fame. Because most of us, we all want tips. Looking for tips. I'm trying to come up a bit. You got any tips? Any tips? So they're gonna teach us how to, and this is blissfully short, so hopefully we'll get through this shit or whatever. He's also, would like to say for the record, wearing Buddhist beads, though he is not one. That's to let the hippie chicks think that he's got spirituality so he can score on the road. his open-chested Jesus shirt, and he's wearing sort of like a Mayan or native type of jacket to let you know that he's down with the people of the earth. He's basically an Indian. You know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, he's basically Geronimo meets Jesus meets Charles Manson. So let's give it a look, shall we? The spirituality and fame. I know what most of you are thinking, though, is, isn't that Marianne Williamson with a beard? Kinda.
Russell Brand has been an actor, a comedian, a podcast host for decades. All of his...
No, I think the podcast thing is relatively new. Probably less than a decade, because most podcasts aren't over a decade old, but okay.
Sudden, he's one of the most forceful voices for the truth in...
The truth. He's the forceful voice for the truth, man. This is where you go. Who's going to tell you that the they-thems are going to come get you, and that the deep state Illuminati lizard people, are infiltrating everything, and that everything you believe is just a farce, and it's best to just, it could end at any second, and they're all out to get you. Also, I sell a meditation program.
The English-speaking world.
Loosely speaking English on his case. Yeah, because he's got an English accent, I think is the only reason you say that.
He's also a deeply interesting person with all...
He is. Tucker found him balls deeply interesting.
A lot of insights about God.
Oh, that's weird. They've met personally. They go fishing.
Amazingly, Russell Brand.
Really? Russell Brand knows a lot about God. That's funny. He just knows. It's weird. It's like he's not a Christian, but he'll pass for one if I edit it right.
We sat down with him for a long conversation.
But we're just going to show you a little piece of it, because parts of it got a little...
New episode, Tucker Carlson today. Here's a small part of it.
I like wood, says Tucker Carlson. Why is there wheat in this? Wheat. Fields of wheat. Wow, that's an old picture.
As much as I might enjoy the...
So they're just not going to turn his mic on? Really? Who produces this? RSBN? Do they have the same producer as Triggered?
feeling of privilege and luxury, and I'm certainly making no claims to be an ascetic. I remember what reality is.
Do you? I've got a very, if I think about it, I remember what reality... Can you imagine can you imagine saying that sentence out loud to another human being? I remember what... hold on. Is somebody saying it's loud? Let me bring it down a touch if it's too loud. Run that shit by me again. Listen to this.
Making no claims to be an ascetic. I remember what reality is.
I remember what reality is. This motherfucker has to recall what life like us plebes was like. I remember a long time ago when I used to go to shops. I remember reality before fame and drugs and being surrounded completely by ass kissers. And I remember the kidney.
Remember that my wellness is contingent upon spiritual connection, upon certain values and principles, and I am sorry to admit, involve sacrifice and self-scrutiny about my...
What? Sacrifice?
Own conduct and behavior, which is often falls short, and I'm working on improving myself. I continue to work on improving myself.
Well, thanks, Russell. I appreciate that. We all appreciate you working on. You're such a good example for the rest of us who don't fucking bother. You know what, guys? Did it ever occur to you? Hold on, chat room, real quick. I gotta check with you guys. I've never even heard of this. So, is there a thing? Do people do people work on themselves, like go over things they've done in the past and try to be better? Or is that just something that really special people do? Because this is amazing. I've never even, it's like self-realization. If only there was a place where you could get together with other people in sort of fellowship, like in Los Angeles, called the Selfrealization Center, or the the Selfrealization Fellowship, where Marianne Williamson first started teaching A Course in Miracles. Maybe that. Oh, don't forget to turn off the overlay for the green screen. Thank you very much. I'll remember that. Hold on. Appreciate it. What a, like, the fucking, like, how are you not, just the ego. It's just killing me. This is so embarrassing. That's our struggle with being this beloved. I do. And sometimes it goes to me head, and I feel like, I do things that are just inhumane, but I forgive myself immediately and think about the check. I go, I shouldn't have lied about the Ukrainians and stuff. I shouldn't lie about the people who are defending themselves. But, I shouldn't let, other people gish gallop across my show and then go interesting when I know it's not interesting. It's wrong. But, the check. But I think God, in all her wisdom, as the great spirit, I've got a picture of it. I bought it in India when I was traveling, that I go, oh, look how, I show it to people when I want them to think I'm spiritual. It's like a woven woman. It's really amazing. And sorry, I just got lost how great I was for a second. Has that ever happened to you, Tucker? I'm sure it does.
So when I sort of hear morality sort of as bombast, or when I hear rhetoric divorced from compassion, it makes me feel uneasy.
Fuck you.
So I've been blessed.
Rhetoric divorced from compassion, that's the only prerequisite to be a guest on his podcast. That is the exact behavior of the people he brings on. And then he sits back and fucking eats sunflower seeds and like waves at the people. Yes, I agree. I was thinking about something that you said earlier where I was like, that's so wrong. It's right, and I feel that that's true. Go on again about how, Ukraine shouldn't have been wearing that short skirt. Go ahead, tell about that part. Tell me about Nazis again, and how, mass graves and rape squads are completely justified because 9 years ago there were 16 people in the Azov battalion who viewed themselves as Nazis, and they've been bounced since, but that's no excuse. Holy shit. Hello, Kitto. Thank you for the super chat. Love you, man. Am I going to look at the new Scream movie? I have to say the ads have been interesting. I don't know how interested I am in the movie itself. And I have a big list. We went and saw Creed 3, which I enjoyed at the theater. But I've got, a stack. I'm going to go see the John Wick movie in the theater as well. We'll see.
With a very practical spirituality, like many desperate people. I need spirituality. I need God, or I cannot cope in this world.
God is in his own way a crutch that allows me to stand up and morally judge others. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I couldn't do it without the illusion of a divine right to be a piece of shit.
I need to believe in the best in people. I need to believe that there are new alliances possible, new ways of us communicating, because I see...
No, you don't get... No, bullshit. Hold on. Again... Fucking hell. These fucking long hairs, man. This asshole... No. You don't get to scream all fucking day and night about how we need to tear down the systems that exist and destroy them as they stand right in their stead and basically end every functioning system in the world because you believe there's another way on the other side. You don't get to do that. You get to advocate for a system to replace the current one until it materializes. But you don't get to go, I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's there. I don't even pretend to know. But we should destroy everything that people rely on just to get to work, just to eat, just to take care of their children, just a normal life, fucking go to games and movies and hang out and all that kind of stuff, because it's all fraud anyways. And I could say that because I live in a fucking mansion, like hidden up in the fucking woods in Hobbiton, and I'm taller than everyone else, and I'm multi-millionaire. I've got my retirement figured out, so fuck you. And I've got... I can pay someone $1 million to do a fucking geothermal or fucking dig a well on my property, and I can build a wall high enough to keep you fuckers out no matter how 28 days later London gets. So I don't really give a fuck. But the point is that, I need God in my life so that I can say that, so that you can think, I can't be a complete piece of shit. He's got God in his life. He's not specifying which one. That doesn't matter.
Atrophying and corrupt systems delivering yet more misery to people. And I think it...
Define delivering more misery to people. Because this motherfucker is standing on and standing in and standing under the work of multitudes over the decades, going from us all scrounging in fucking dirt to the modernity he takes for granted so that he can cosplay as a fucking native late 60s hippieite offshoot of the Manson family without any repercussions, so that he can image his way through fucking life. This motherfucker, it has one fruiting tree on his property, and it's ego. Every day, ego. There you go. I think, it's, I don't know everything, but you should respect the fact that I even pretend to believe that.
It's increasingly necessary that we find new ways of framing the conversation and looking into our hearts when we're speaking. Are we being kind? Are we being...
Yeah, that's why you have Jimmy Dore on. You need somebody kind. It's about kindness. And famous, obviously. Famous kind people. I mean, if they're known for being mean and they're famous for being mean, but I mean, I'm kind enough to make up for it. You know what? I should have them on because it makes me look kind by comparison.
Loving. Are we being the best that we can be? On whose behalf are we speaking? And what...
Jesus Christ. I was, the Marianne Williamson with a beard shit, I was joking earlier, but holy shit, that's exactly what this is. Ego in wolf's clothing, or in ego in love's clothing.
What is my intention moment to moment? Am I doing this for self-glorification? Am I...
Yes, you are. Yes. Your whole outfit is a brand, Russell. You are Russell Brand. Your family name or your showbiz name, I don't know if that's his original name or whatever, is literally taken from burning into the flesh of livestock things, animals you own, your own initials.
Doing this because I have obligations to Rumble, the platform I'm on, or am I doing this because I genuinely believe that a better world is possible and that world is born individually within each of us moment to moment?
Look at Tucker. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, but I'm amazed that you can spout this shit uninterrupted. I'm impressed just by the uninterrupted flow of bullshit. It's stunning.
And it's
I'm worried that you might stain the wood though, because I like the kind of fresh oak look. I'm not looking for like a stained, darker, I just don't, especially if it's splotchy.
Possible to change. I genuinely believe in change, and I'm not at my core a misanthrope. I don't...
Yes, you are. Or you wouldn't have to fucking say that. You imagine also, I'll remember what reality is. First of all, fucking, if I ever, in an interview, that's like right up there with using my own name in the third person. Like, I would want to punch myself in the fucking dick if I said something like that. I remember what it was like to be on the mean streets. Get the fuck out of here. What a, can you... You do know that right after this, Tucker told him it was great, but he had somebody there with him, his producer of his podcast, his publicist, somebody there who just, that was amazing, boss. That was great, boss. That was so good. Oh my God. There's so much, because I can really connect. People really connected with you when you said that, like,
I don't believe that we need systems of condemnation. I don't believe that if people aren't heavily policed and heavily controlled, they will behave badly. I believe that we can self-organize. I'm optimistic about your country, and I'm optimistic about mine, and I'm optimistic about...
Bullshit. Okay, Doomer. No, you aren't. No, you are not. The only thing that passes for optimism in Russell Brand's entire fucking existence these days is the fact that while he's spouting this doomer bullshit on his show, he knows he's full of shit. That's not optimism. It means you know you're lying. He doesn't believe that shit at all. But it pays. Am I doing this because of my obligation to Rumble? No. You're cashing in on your contract with Rumble, and you're getting the money that comes secondarily from it. And by the way, when he moved, this sounds like, and I gotta say, this is hinky. Let's run back this.
Am I doing this because I have obligations to Rumble, the platform I'm on?
Okay. So I thought, like many of you, that Russell was doing really well on YouTube, had a lot of people on there, and decided to move to Rumble because of his fear of censorship. Do you remember that? And from what he's saying right here, it actually sounds like he just got bought. That Rumble went after him like Spotify went after Rogan. They offered him a contract to guarantee him some stuff, and we won't bounce any of your videos, and we'll help you build this thing if you just bring your folks over. You still post stuff secondarily after the fact clips, but if anybody wants to see the whole thing, they have to come over to Rumble. That's the deal. And he just admitted to it on the fucking air. He didn't go because he feared being kicked off, and Rumble is this new free service where you can fucking stream. Because when I stream on Rumble, they don't pay me to do it. I'm not going to make any fucking money on there. I fucking do some RTMP links and pop the shit in, and up it goes. He was purchased from YouTube by Rumble. And maybe there was some talk about him having a contract with Rumble, and that was news somewhere, but I don't remember saying it. And I remember his entire conversation being about how I'm moving over there and we're doing over there because we can speak more freely and blah blah blah, which is a sales pitch for fucking Rumble, and it's a lie.
Or am I doing this because I genuinely believe that a better world is possible, and that world is born individually within each of us, moment to moment, and it's possible to change? I genuinely believe in change, and I'm not at my core a
Who the fuck are you looking at, by the way? This is a spiritual gish gallop of nonsense that he spews at his little gatherings at the tail end of his alleged stand-up gigs.
misanthrope. I don't believe that we need systems of condemnation. I don't believe that if people aren't heavily policed and heavily controlled, they will behave badly.
By the way, these are sentences that sound meaningful that are ultimately meaningless. This is the most shallow form of bullshit spirituality. It's like, do you ever see Annie Hall? Do you guys ever see Annie Hall? And remember when they're going back through her past relationships, and there's the playwright, who's, or Shelley Duvall's character, where like he's transplended. He is God. He is actually God, and Woody Allen, there comes God out of the bathroom. It's the same. This is just jargon for jargon's sake. And what you're seeing right here is a man reveling in the joy of how certain kinds of jargon allow him to puppet other people's feelings. It is a giant act of ego. And you can tell just by fucking looking at him.
I believe that we can self-organize.
Then do it, motherfucker. Also, what does self-organize mean? Does everybody on your show just randomly arrive whenever they want? Does your producer go, yeah, hey guys, we're going to self-organize or not tomorrow for a live stream of the podcast or not? And if you don't feel like coming, you'll still get paid, obviously, because Russell's that kind of a guy.
I'm optimistic about your country and I'm optimistic about mine and I'm optimistic about the world. But I think the price of that optimism is a degree of reason and an acceptance that many people see the world very, very differently at this time. Right. And we're going to have to allow one another some distance to be who we are, whether that's individually or communally. And these...
Yeah, if a community decides that gays shouldn't get married or that women are, 3/5 of a person, to borrow a phrase, or shouldn't have the right. We just have to, for a certain time, we're just going to have to let that be. It's just women are going to have to take one for the team. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
These are the areas that interest me. And these are the things that have always interested me. The
blather.
fact was, I just didn't have enough self-discipline to resist the allure of stardom. And I fell...
Hold on. You think your show and this right here and your outfit and this whole bullshit isn't the allure of stardom? You 6.7 million awakening wonders? The fuck are you talking about? Here's how it went. He's a half-assed stand-up and a marginal actor. Most of what he can do when he's acting that works is him being stern on camera because it's against type. And people are like, ooh, my goodness, he seems upset. That's it. The body of work is pretty fucking shallow. So stop patting yourself on the back like you left behind something like, well, I just, at a certain point, will another Oscar make me happy? Fuck off. He got stand-up specials because he came into this through stand-up, and he was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and he looked like hippie Jesus, and he was fucking around and doing drugs. So he had a bad boy ride for a while, and that's it. And it started to fade, and there was nothing else past it. And so he needed something to drum up shit to do, and here he is. By the way, right-wingers accuse me of this shit all the time. I don't care. But at no point am I going, well, I just couldn't. It was like, I kind of have to do something with my time. Otherwise, I'll just roll around in fame. That's it. That's the hard part for me. I've got this, I've got so many ideas in my head, that I can't even. I'm wrestling. If you really think about it, I'm like a wrestler, and I'm always wrestling with my darker nature. Sometimes it just riles up in me and it makes me want to, I'm kind of like that and I got to fight it off, but I try, but it makes me, and it's harder and harder. And is it getting hot in here? Is it just me? I feel like I'd take my pants off. Anyways.
Face first into the glitter, and I'm only just pulling myself out now. But once I...
You're not pulling yourself out now. You're pulling yourself off now, mate.
Stopped drinking and taking drugs, it became clear that
I needed another addiction, and the sound of my own voice sounded good.
There was a lot more on offer. The ability to, in fact, as they say, recovery, the term recovery is undergirded by the idea that we recover the person we're intended to be. And this idea of intention, I think, is rather beautiful, because when you live in a nihilistic, post-rationalistic, materialistic world where there can...
You mean your podcast?
...be no telos, where there can be no glory, where there can be no meaning, none of us are...
Yeah. That's exactly what you're arguing for. We're all, in many ways, if you really think about it, we're all one and on kind of the lowest because we're human beings, and it would be better if we were all gone anyways. And if we do, something does happen to us, we'll all just absorb back into the great atom.
Meant to be anything, but the idea that there might be a purpose for you, that there might be something that you can become.
And if you're interested, $29.95. I've got a little course you can do, and you won't find anything, but I do need a boat.
This I found this idea very engaging and very comforting, and I've got to be honest, it also engaged the more egoic and narcissistic aspects.
You don't fucking say. No kidding. And by the way, he wants points for recognizing he's an egomaniac. If you know you're an egomaniac, you're no longer an egomaniac. That's the great thing about it. You know, if you really think about it. Like, I'm great. I think I'm great. It's clear I think I'm fucking great. I'm the greatest. If I think I'm the greatest, but I tell you, oh, it's a shame I think I'm the greatest. In some ways, I get off the hook for being an egomaniac, and it makes me even greater in the moment. Isn't that, oh, shit.
Of me that I could achieve something in my life. But as time has gone on, there's an
I've decided, nah, cash in on Doom. Yeah. At some point, I'm going to have to let it all go. And I'm going to have to sell prepper food because that's where this path lies. Because I've tried the sex guru thing and the wife won't have it.
ongoing tension between those things, individual achievement and a sort of an ongoing desire for recognition and plaudits, but a deeper understanding that there is.
Yeah, that's just, oh yeah, sure, that exists. Yeah, I want everyone to think I'm fucking amazing and hang on my every word, but it's for a good cause. I mean, be fair.
Something valuable here on offer, that we can achieve something. And
unlike, you know, the rest of you lot. I mean, part of it, look, part of me being amazing is that I recognize my potential to be even more amazing and recognize in you, all of you have the ability to see how amazing I am for $29.95.
it's actually sort of quite humble, irritatingly, isn't it?
Oh, get the fuck out! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my! It's kind of humbling to recognize how amazingly like humble I am. Like I'm so. It's like, you know, think about it. I mean, God, bit of an ego, sure, created everything, but at a certain point, isn't your hand you as well? And therefore, if I'm the hand of God, I'm kind of God. I mean, you're either part of the whole or a whole of the part, and it's the same fucking thing. And I'm basically Tucker. I'm God, okay? And yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
Like that, it's mostly about helping people directly. My
That was an edit.
worldview is formed by spiritual principles rather.
Oh, yes, so you've said. What spiritual principles? You've said spirituality. I think spirituality, there's a thing about spirituality in the spirit, an ego in spirit and spirituality, that in the spirit of being spiritual, I feel that there's a deeper question of whether I'm spiritual enough for as spiritual as I actually fucking am. So in many ways, are you in the spirit yet? I'm sorry, what was the question? Oh yes, spirituality. I believe in spirits. I used to drink them, now I believe in them. It's basically the same thing.
Rather than political principles that might.
And Tucker agreed with that. I don't know why. Probably because of what they cut out. I believe in spiritual principles, not political principles. What political principles are you talking about? Right, left? À droite, à gauche? Is that the idea? À droite, à gauche? These left and right. What does left and right mean? I don't know. What does conservative and liberal mean? What do they mean to you? Start defining them. By defining them, we'll figure out what the fuck you're talking about. And as you talk deeper, you might actually spring on exactly how you feel. And you know what we're going to come back to? I basically am an egomaniac.
Values are derived from quite simple ideas around kindness, community, acceptance, gratitude, and
kindness, community, acceptance, and gratitude. I'll keep an eye out for those things. in your next clip. Because heretofore, I haven't seen him. I've seen a man jacking himself off at the expense of other people and looking at the puddle he made on his desk and saying, "You're all pregnant."
I'm making no claim to practice these principles.
But that's the great thing about me, you know, because a little way. I mean, if you really think about it, the very fact that I know these words and I don't do them, and I'm aware that I know these words and I'm aware that I don't do them, makes me kind of already doing them. If you think about it, I mean, it's like, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking back to when somebody gave me a compliment before I walked in here, and I was just enjoying it again. Got a semi.
Anything like perfectly, but at least I know what I'm aspiring to, and I know that my
Unlike you plebes.
spirituality is about my conduct and how I behave, rather than telling other people how they should behave.
Yeah, so who am I to judge fucking the people at the WEF or Pfizer or Moderna or the government or politicians or police officers or citizens of other countries, the Ukrainians or anything? How can I even judge those people? I mean, I wouldn't even propose to mock them in any way or whatever, because I mean, I know we're all like broken puzzle pieces that magically fit together because we all share the same holes. But shut the fuck up. Good Lord. I am usually not amazed by that level of ego. And by the way, maybe this is what annoys me. I like egoists, true egoists, people who are like, yeah, I learned how to do something, I'm good at something, and I'm fucking awesome at it. I don't brag about my height because I had no control about that. My skin color, I had no control over that. My family, how they made their money, I got no control over that whatsoever. But I became a great piano player, a great chef, or I fucking sing like a bird, or I can write, or I'm great at my job, or I'm great with my kids, or whatever. And I focus on it and I try to be better. And I feel really good about it. I'm fucking proud as a dad, that kind of shit. Because it's based on the activities of your fucking life. I love that because I aspire to people who shoot for that. Not people who are selling it, but people who are like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, I mean, watch Prince play guitar. Look at the wry smile that was on his face when he would play. And know that he was very aware of how great he was because he busted his ass to get there. It took a lot of effort for that level of effortlessness. And it's beautiful. And it's attainable. And you do know that to some degree, you'll be your own person, you'll be your own version. But if you put that kind of time in and you really dedicate yourself, Django Reinhardt had 2 fucking fingers on this hand and he was an amazing guitar player. You've got it in you. You can do it. And that's why I love those inspiring people. I love people who are proud of their accomplishments. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But pretty motherfuckers acting like they got where they are by accident, kind of aggravating. Whew. That's impressive. That is, and I guess it had to get him being on Tucker Carlson to feel like he could let that freak flag fly so very brightly, Roy. When it comes to adversity. Exactly, Salty Sylvester. That's the point. Challenge. Overcoming obstacles. That kind of stuff. There's a beauty in it, and it's inspiring. But some dickhead's like, well, I did like a couple movies, and I was cute, and I was like doing drugs and fucking around in I was a big fish in a small pond. I made it, I did Saving Sarah Marshall in America, and so I came back over to England, and I'm like, one of 9 people who fucking make it, It's me and Izzard and a couple of, and Gervais, and I'm the only fuckable one. So I did a bunch of drugs and fucked a bunch of chicks and played hippie and started my own little cult. And then the office started to dry up because I'm a bit boring and my comedy's derivative and I'm kind of shitty to people. So I thought, hey, that sounds like a podcast. And the great thing is, I can let people know on the regular that there's a tremendous amount of humility in being fucking amazing, you know. And I feel like the universe put me here to say that, and also to scare the living shit out of people, so they think the end is coming all the time. Basically, make that Chicken Little scratch. You know what I'm saying? You know, because when people are scared, man, they'll cough up cash to, like, they hang on your every fucking word. If you're actually optimistic, they kind of dissipate. Like, oh, okay, everything's fine. Then they go do interesting shit. They go to sports and dinner with their friends and stuff like that. How you got to keep them riveted to their fucking phones? Like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and then you give them the sickness and sell them the cure. That's what. Hey, I'm Russell Brand, giving you the sickness, selling you the cure. That's why I hate Pfizer. I feel like they're muscling in on my racket. I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thursday, later show, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I know I was late today, but I was because of traffic. God damn it. And we will enjoy as we watch over the next couple of days. These folks continue to take this Gen 6 footage and stomp rakes like a motherfucker. Anyways, I love you guys. Thanks so much. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, Kara. Thank you, Pete. I think is it a pound? Thanks for our Brits. I'm sorry if I'm mucking up the accent there, you know, but I'm just trying to do it for comedy. You know what I mean? It's all right. Just trying, you know, I just think it's a funny character you do. You know, like, I don't really, you know, Russell Brand doesn't actually have an English accent. You know, he's faking it like Madonna. It's true. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. He's from Azerbaijan, but he was like raised in, I believe, North Carolina. Yeah. And he just lives over in, yeah. No, he's like third generation rich family from England, though. So they all moved back. Like, I got free. We can all just live here, eh? Yeah, it's true. Or maybe it's not. Does it really matter?